Hello fellow cultivators, welcome to the part 2 about NPC guide in Tale of Immortal, and this part will be focusing on getting into a relation with NPCs, and I think I will use two more valuable examples. One thing is of course finding a master, and here we're using a typical scenario when you're at foundation and you want to find a golden core master so that you can learn some high realm skills. The reason why Golden Core, because Golden Core is realm 4, right? And you are at realm 2 and you can only learn skill that is maximum 2 realms higher than you. So, and typically even in Chaos, going from to refining to foundation is extremely easy, and going from foundation to synchronization might be slightly difficult, and this is the time you want to learn some good skills. And I have shown this in quite a few of my videos, and I have received many comments about, no, this does not work. There's no NPC want to be a master. And just to show you again, this is NPC and this is a very ideal scenario, and then I will reduce the ideal conditions one by one and try to let you see what are the most important conditions there and why in your case you do not work and what you can do to change it. So a typical scenario here, we are at foundation, this person, NPC, Golden Core. He is selfless, he's protective, and he's caring. Both are very good traits for becoming a master because he's protective of oppression, and also he values master and oppression. And very importantly, ourselves, we are kind, we are loyal to friends, that's just in general goods. And also we are traditional, which means we respect elders and people of authority. And that is quite important because these two things is what NPC sees you. So NPC knows you are a traditional guy. You will be respect elders. So all of this adds value, right? And typically we do a small talk so that our affinity towards NPC is 30-ish, and then we give to the NPC something nice so that NPC's affinity towards us is about 220, so 2 hearts. And in this scenario, let's try to honor membership. Do you want to be my master? And guess what? Just check out these things. My appearance, my personality, our relation between you and me, and my reputation. Notice that personality, appearance, reputation, they are all important. Relationship, mostly affinity. Okay, and in this case, he accepts our request. Alright, and now we can learn some golden core skills, and of course if we have already get those seed condensation to 100%, which means we can transfer our seed, we can then transfer our seed to him so that he will become heaven chosen, and 1 year later, and then he will get all the good red or orange mind skills and skills. We will learn better skills from him. So you can directly click learn and do this. And to reset scenario also, I think many people didn't know this. If you want to cancel a master relationship, go to your relationship page, go to, in this case, family, if friends is friends, family is family, and here there's a button here, cancel. You can just cancel the thing here, and also notice that this is 1.5 hearts. Just again, for anyone who haven't watched the first part of this NPC guide, and also affinity are both sided, so now he likes our 2 heart a bit more, we like him 1 heart a bit more. So that's why in this one, what you can see is 1 heart a bit more, but you can also see his affinity towards our 2 heart a bit more, just to let you know. And if we cancel this relationship, everything will be back to -1. Okay? That's how you cancel relations. Now, I guess the first question we will need to answer is, does our affinity towards NPC matters? Does NPC knows that we hate him to guts, like he's considered as enemy by us, but he doesn't know, he still loves us a bit. So what if we do this? And guess what? He accepts. NPC does not know. He thinks we are a nice traditional person. He doesn't know we hate him, and we are trying to kill him after learning his skills. So if you want to make such role-play thing, do it. I guess the next question is, what is the minimum affinity that you can become master and disable relationship? Now we change 120 to 119, so it's slightly less than 2 hearts. And if we try this again, and he rejects our request. So, and also, yeah, if we reject, both affinity, his affinity towards and our affinity towards him will reduce, just to let you know. And yeah, that shows 120, so 2 hearts is kind of threshold when everything else is good. Next step, what if this person is evil, so not a good person, so the internal trait now is evil instead of, so basically bad, the bad 3, not the good 3, while ours is still kind, so we internal trait we are on 2 different sides. And by the way, as you can already see, righteous and demonic, this thing doesn't matter at all because he is demonic and I am kind of half-half, and it doesn't matter before. Now, one question is, what if he's evil now? And we still have 120, right? Okay. And let's try it again. And it rejects. So, if our internal trait does not match, it doesn't not work. And now if he is still evil, but now we increase our heart a bit more, so instead of 2 hearts, now it's 3 hearts. And we try again. Master, do you want to become our master? Now he says yes. So the fact that we are 2 different sides on the inner traits will increase the threshold by about 1 heart. So you just need to increase a bit more his affinity towards you. And now here comes the most important part, that is external traits. Because external traits, they are really important, and we are trying to find out what are the good external traits and what are the bad ones. So first of all, we know protective is definitely a good one, and romantic is definitely a bad one in terms of master or in general as a human. So let's say if we have a good one and a bad one, so what will happen in this case? And he still accepts with exactly the same conditions. So as long as you have protective one good one, it usually can basically overcome one bad problems. But this is something really surprises me, that caring and family oriented, they are not considered as very good traits, like positive traits comparing to, for example, protective. Because in this case, without protective, and with this looks like good traits, if we try to do a mentorship with him, he rejects us. So yeah, protective is the one single trait you should look for. And these 2, not that useful. But what about these 2 in case of adoptive father? And yeah, accept our request. So turns out these 2, instead of more like for, master, it's more like for adopted fathers. So yeah, protective, that is the one thing you should look for. And as for how much one protective worth is for in terms of affinity, now let's increase our affinity from 120 to 180, so 3 hearts. And let's try again. And yeah, he accepts our request. So in this case, without protective, you need more hearts. And now, how do we know romantic is bad trait? So remember, back then we have selfless and we have protective and romantic. Even with 120, so 2 hearts affinity, we managed to become mentorship. Now, with the romantic and without protective, with 180, so 3 hearts. Previously we have caring and loyal friends. We managed to become mentors. Now, doesn't work. So yeah, romantic, weird, and we need to change this. And what about now? With 4 hearts, still loyal friend and romantic, with 1 bad trait. And still reject. So 1 bad trait is extremely harmful. And now let's try again with full 5 hearts. He's still romantic. And let's try again. And in this case, he accepts. So one bad trait, like romantic, requires you to increase 3 hearts to compensate it. Oh no, 2 hearts, because without a good trait, like with just loyal friend and caring, with 3 hearts we can become master and students. Now with 1 romantic, now you need 2 more hearts to increase threshold. So that's one thing. Do not find someone who has bad traits, external traits. So what are the bad external traits? And if we replace romantic by something like self-centered, which means that he does not like people, and 4 hearts, same thing, rejects, and 3 hearts, 5 hearts, still rejects. So I guess self-centered is even worse compared to romantic. And yeah, if you find someone who is self-centered, that basically means you cannot become friends. But what about self-centered plus protective? And protective plus self-centered at 2 hearts also works. So yeah, as you can see, protective is extremely powerful. It can overcome self-centered. Like any bad external trait, if there's protective here, it basically overcomes it. So protective is quite important, and in general avoid self-centered. And now let's back to this situation. So we remove protective from this master, so he has caring and loyal friends. And we are kind, loyal friends, but now we add a bad trait to ourselves, self-centered. So if you remember back when we have loyal friend traditional, 3 hearts, sorry, because of this, again, you have to go and come back. Yeah, 3 hearts is kind of the minimum threshold so that we can become the disciple while we are traditional. Now, since we are self-centered, we can try it again. If you remember, self-centered is a pretty bad trait. And of course, yeah, rejects. So yeah, that is one problem, of course. So this just tells you that bad traits such as romantic, self-centered, just don't put it neither in your the NPC or in yourself, and most importantly in yourself, because for example, even if this NPC he has a bad trait like self-centered or romantic, I can always find a different NPC who has protective, which overrides everything, right? But for myself, if I have self-centered and romantic, such bad traits like this, it's just very hard for me to find any other master. So yeah, avoid bad traits. That's basically the key idea. Well, let's try. 5 hearts, still the same. Yep, this is the reason why, even if you find someone who looks normal, selfless, caring, and loyal friends, you make it to 5 hearts. As long as you have this self-centered bad trait, you cannot become master-disciple relationship with them. And one more question. If we skip self-centered but we have traditional, which looks like a nice trait as disciple, will it change anything? So again, we have 5 hearts with this master, the same thing. I somewhat doubt traditional can overcome self-centered, yeah. So really avoid bad trait. In this case, like, it just doesn't work. And we still have self-centered bad thing, but now, remember this guy still now has protective, and even with 2 hearts, it works. So I think that's basically one rule, is that the protective with the trait as a master is really, really important. And this can even overcome one of our bad traits. Let's see if we now become self-centered and romantic, or carefree, or something like that, and try again. Let's start with self-centered and romantic. In general, bad traits, as you know. And again, 120-30, selfless, loyal, friend, protective. Since there's a protective here, I assume it might still work. Yeah, so I think that basically confirms it. Well, I guess that basically tells you something. If you want to look for, let's add the summary. If you want to look for master, look for one who have protective, and it's better your and the internal trait will match, because otherwise you need one more heart. Then 2 hearts is the minimum thing you can become master and DC both. And if without protective, even if you have both normal external trait and matching internal trait, you need 3 hearts. And if you have they or you have any kind of bad traits, this will greatly increase. Sometimes with romantic, you might need 4 hearts, and even with like a romantic in any side, will need 4 hearts. If both of you are romantic, probably never will work. And similarly, if you have self-centered, even 5 hearts probably won't make it work. So that's one of the main problems. So keep an idea. First thing, do not choose self-centered romantic such a bad trait for yourself, and look for someone who do not have bad traits or have protective. This is a good trait for masters. Alright, let's now jump to another case where NPC relationships, like NPC actions, are important, which is high realm, like enlightenment, romantic waifus. And if you have already used a few different ring quests to manage to unlock a city like in the Muxian region, you can directly teleport here at a very low realm, even like Qi refining, and that doesn't even matter. Okay, and you might, by giving some gift and stuff to befriend a high realm like enlightenment romantic waifu. And in this case, for example, you might want to ask them to become your partner so that you can invite them into your own sect, and this will help you a lot. And so basically, if you are using like Bagua Jade, or even if you are not using Bagua Jade, you can still come to Foundation and invite them into your sect, become sect leader or anything, and then you will be in a very, very much better position. So that is basically how you quick do a speed run in this game. Many people in my Bagua Jade and speed run guide also comment, no, it doesn't work at all. Like I try to befriend a high realm romantic woman, they never accept. So now again, make sure that yourself do not have bad traits. So we start with the standard kind, caring, loyal friends, normal good traits. This is the woman we are talking about. She's so high realm, we don't even have enough focus to mark it. But now she has selfless, romantic, loyal friends. Romantic is really important. It's generally a bad trait for anything else, but in this case, because we want them to become our partner, romantic is important. So now we have 3 hearts. So she likes us 3 hearts. We like her, again, half hearts as a basic. Let's try to ask her to become our partner. And she accepts. Yep. Alright. So this is kind of our basic scenario in this case. Also, if you are curious what is the minimum threshold to befriend enlightenment, romantic female NPC to make her become your partner, is actually a really odd value, 134, which means 2 heart 120 plus a little bit less than 1/4 of the heart, because 15 is 1/4 heart, 1 heart is like 60. So this is a really odd value, but yeah, so I think this is basically what you can see. And I guess the better way is to make it a little bit more than that. I mean, it goes to 2.5 hearts. You can say that if you do not have the mod, of course, 2.5 hearts, you can sort of, okay, this is above the threshold. And yeah, 134, you ask her to become your partner, it works out. And if it's 133, it doesn't work. It's really strange. Now, second question, does our affinity towards the NPC matter at all? So previously we have 30, which is normal, like after one chat you get, and then you can of course improve her affinity towards you by sending gifts. Now, what if we hate them to gods? Well, this matters. And no, again, just like the previous topic about master-disciple relationship, NPC don't know that how much you hate them. She will still think, oh, I love you this much, and maybe you love me too, and she will accept the request. So yeah, you can get a very strange love-hate relationship with your partner. But notice, one thing is, this thing will only work with enlightenment. This is the highest realm you can go. Because even if this is an NPC which has selfless, romantic, loyal friends, the same kind of external traits, but she is reborn. And in this case, it just becomes impossible. Like even with 5 hearts. And I suspect the realm difference is the main thing, because she is 1,000 years old and this woman is 400 years old. I don't think that it is that much difference towards me, 16 years old guy. How does it matter? But so I guess reborn is kind of just too high realm for this thing to work. Next question. Does our look or the charisma matters? So in order to do this, we first removed our mount so that our charisma becomes, and we set our charisma to 0, so it's average. And in this case, everything else, nothing changed. Well, that worked. And well, apparently it doesn't really matter much for a romantic partner. She still thinks I'm good enough to become a partner, even though I'm just average looked. Yeah. Well, next question, now we're back to normal. If romantic is needed, so we are still at 134. Now, if the partner do not have romantic, and of course, she rejects our request, that's not good, isn't it? In fact, let's directly move to 5 hearts with our romantic. Ask for partner, and still reject. So yeah, romantic is really, really important. So if the NPC is not romantic, don't even bother. She needs to be romantic for it to work. Next step, what about internal traits? Now let's say this woman is evil and we are still kind. And will it be the same thing? Okay, so ignore the 4 hearts here, we are still at 134. And yeah, it doesn't even matter. So she still accepts our request in this case. So internal traits matches or not doesn't matter in this case. Now let's add some bad traits we know before, like self-centered, to this woman. And try again. And of course, adding self-centered immediately rejects, even though we are 134. Now the question is, self-centered increase the threshold of this thing to how much? It's hard to know now because 134 is such an odd number, so I need to do some bit more tests. So turns out, if your partner has self-centered, which is a bad trait in general, the minimum threshold is increased from 134 to 198. Again, this is like 64, right? 64 increase, which is really odd. So again, it's more like 180, now you need, which is 3 hearts, and now you need 18 more than that. So again, I guess, just like before, if it's just only romantic and without a bad trait, you can consider like 2.5 hearts as a basic thing to become partner. In this case, if there is a bad trait like self-centered, 3.5 hearts. It's probably a safe threshold. Again, make sure, let's just tell you do this, to show you that it works out at 198. Yep. Also, make sure that we still do not have any bad traits. Now we might want to add some bad trait to ourselves and try to see how it changes. Alright, now let's back to the original scenario. 134, like romantic, loyal to friends, selfless, partner, ourselves. Now we add romantic to ourselves. So this is something that I think confuses many people. Many people are thinking, okay, you want romantic partners, so maybe putting romantic to yourself will be good. Well, the truth is no, that's definitely a bad idea. So if you ask for a partner now, she rejects because we are romantic. Romantic is a bad trait for yourself. So you have to think about this in this way. Romantic is a thing that it controls the NPC's thinking. So because she is romantic, now that's why we as a very small foundation cultivator can become a partner for her because she's looking for love. But what she wants is not someone who is romantic. If we are romantic, our image in the NPC's mind is also someone who is looking for love, who is just going around sleeping with everyone. And therefore, it's in general, even if they themselves are romantic, they do not want a partner who is romantic. So romantic is still a very bad trait, even if you're looking for partners for yourself. Just remember that. And in fact, in this case, I suspect it will raise up the threshold quite some, but we can check it out. And guess what? I was right. Just because we put romantic into our own thing, our image in the NPC's eyes has become so bad, even if this NPC is 5 hearts to ourselves. Love us so much, she does not want to become partner with us. She is evaluating our personality and think this is a bad guy. So yeah, never take romantic in your own trait. I mean, obviously I could have do more tests with things like self-centered. It might raise up, considering self-centered in the partners thing, raise up things for 1 heart-ish. And maybe in our case, it will raise 1 or 2 hearts, or maybe again, it makes it too high, goes above 5 hearts. But I think you get the idea, because I'm too tired to do more tests. Just do not put random bad traits into yourself. Just get some general good traits. And for the person, you want them to be romantic. And also, if another external trait is bad traits such as self-centered, it will raise up the threshold. So in general, have some normal good traits and 134, so a bit more than 2 hearts, let's say 2.5 hearts. That will be your case to find a enlightenment romantic partner. And of course, do not try this with Heaven Chosen. Just don't try to do this thing with Heaven Chosen. That's how it is. As well as someone who is reborn. You might need a bit more higher realm, but I think even with pretty high realm, it's still hard to get into a relationship with a reborn NPC. I guess that will be this part. So before we end this video, I mean, there are still quite a few things I think people are still a bit confused about, but I think we covered 2 most important parts. One is to get middle realm golden core like of type of master while you are at foundation or even low, and the other one is get a high realm like enlightenment romantic partner, because in both cases can help your progression a lot. So as you can see, there are something really matters is external trait of yourself. Avoid romantic, get something good, as well as external traits for the NPC. For the master, you want someone who is protective. For the partner, you want someone who is romantic, and avoid bad external traits like self-centered, etc. And now, I think I will just, before we end the whole thing, we will add a bit more things. So sometimes, in the case of master, if your master is, I think, power hungry, or something, I don't remember what is the word. Glory hound. In that case, you might raise up your reputation a bit. And in fact, in general, reputation can help in the whole master-disciple relationship as well. Like if your affinity, value is just about below the threshold, raise up reputation sometimes can help. But in general, they do not matter as much as external traits. And internal traits like this, in case of master, it values, if it doesn't match, it values for 1 heart. And in case of, the partner, it doesn't matter really at all, the internal traits. So NPC's internal traits, they really matters what is your debate result. Every time when you debate with an NPC, you will choose the result according to their internal trait. Anything else doesn't matter. It's really simple. So if you are familiar with those questions and what is the correct answer you should give according to their internal traits, you can always get a best outcome from the debate every single time. And finally, for those who are interested to get someone who is like disciple under you or something like sworn child, I would recommend you to do it when you are around Narsen Soul to Enlightenment. So around this range of realm, because to let some NPC decided to become your disciple or your sworn child, there are 2 things which matters a lot. One is age difference, one is realm difference. So realm difference is still something you can That's why I recommend you stay in around this range. When you are in enlightenment, then you can find NPCs who are like 1 or 2 realms below you. Then they will be easier. But then the other one, the age difference, is more difficult because age difference, like as a player, we progress really so fast, and you probably finish the entire game in 25-30 years. So even when you are around like this very high realm, most of the NPCs are still older than you. In that case, they cannot become a sworn child of you. You just have to spend a longer time in the game so that they become older. And some new NPCs refresh from the Yongling region, probably. Then you can ask them to become a sworn child. And the reason why I said stay in the middle realm, because in that case you might still, because people who want to be a sworn child or disciple are most likely they are training for achievements, Steam achievements. In that case, you probably want to, in the same run, to get someone who is a lot of masters or a lot of sworn parents. And again, if you yourself have already become too high realmed, NPCs won't become your master that easily. So that's why I said somewhat middle realm, like around here, so that you can still find masters. But of course, if you just want to get a sworn child in the refresh run to get one of your missing achievement, yeah, go to the high realm, take a long time in the game, and find some new refreshed out young NPC and take them as your sworn child. And of course, in that case, family oriented and no romantic, it will be the good internal trait, and the NPC probably traditional, something like that, will be their good external trait. So yeah, I guess that will be everything in this video. I hope that helps to clarify a lot of misconceptions about NPC actions in this game. You can see that the NPC action in this game is really just something depending on the number and a lot of the traits and stuff. By changing the traits, it will just raise up the threshold of the number. Sometimes raise it so high, it's about 5 hearts, then you cannot do it. But most likely, if you choose the correct external trait of yourself and the NPC, it is around 2 hearts, 2 to 3 hearts. That is about the range where everything can be done. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.